Hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So 3C team welcomes you all. We are so glad to start with such an exciting event today. Since we have so many new batches, so many new members with us, I would like to introduce you all to our little team 3C first. 3Cs is a collaboration amongst the JD Institute with creativity skilled professionals and students to enhance the quality of design education. The initiative aims to bring experts, achievers, practitioners together to engage and give talk, catering to a worldwide range of segment of design, which includes art, management, technology, and much more. It is a platform that facilitates an open and ongoing conversation about theory and practice of design, emerging future technologies involving ideas, methodologies, and shifting paradigms of design education and practice. It is an open platform for all the creative minds, be it experts, faculty, students. We also have a cultural event like open mic, open stage. That was all about 3C. Stay tuned because we have so many big events and surprises coming up for you all. So today we are so glad to have Miss Adriana with us. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me today.
Adriana is a designer, action researcher, system thinker, innovator, educator, and an advocate for circular economic-based cradle-to-cradle design principles. Before starting up the co-curriculum lab, Adriana spent the last decades working with G-Star Raw, where she superheaded sustainable and circular product innovation, implementation, and scaling across all G-Star Raw's collection. Here, she collaborated with design, R&D, merchandising, sustainability team, and supply chain partners. Once the product was ready to be launched, she also worked closely with the PR and merchandising department, marketing department on messaging. Without any further delay, we should start the session Design with an Intent, followed by questions and answer session. Later on, all the participants can put up their questions and in the chat box, which we will pick up at the end of the session. Adriana, hi.
Hello, thank you. I will.
Over to you.
I get taken over the screen, right? Let me see if it all works properly. Okay. I think we should have it all. Okay. So great to be here. Thank you, Yushi, for the introduction. And also thank you, Dr. Shandor Shekar and JD Institute Fashion Technology for the invitation. And also thank you all students who are joining us today. Before I dive into the presentation, I would like to give you a bit of context where I come from. So 22 years ago, I started as a designer in fashion industry. Since then, as Aisha mentioned, I developed into the action researcher, innovator, educator, and an advocate for circular economy based on the cradle-to-cradle design principles. So the biggest turning point for me was in 2005, when I read the book Cradle to Cradle, Remaking the Way That We Make Things, which was written by a chemist, Michael Bronkart, and an architect, William McDonough. This book has really shaped my career ever since, because it is there that I have discovered that waste is actually a design flaw. So as a fashion designer, I felt compelled to figure out on how to design in a new way. Since then, my mission was to design products that not only look and feel great, but that also respect people and planet. So throughout my work, rather than seeing sustainability and circularity as technical barriers or some kind of creative limitations, I actually saw them as avenues of innovation. So in 2011, I actually joined forces with G-Star Raw, which is a global denim brand based out of Amsterdam, who shared my passion for denim, responsible design, as well as for innovation. So initially, I was hired as a senior designer for Raw Sustainable Collection and women's denim. And later on, I evolved into an interdepartmental role where I led the sustainable and circular product innovation, implementation, and scaling across all the G-Star Raw collections. So working with G-Star over the last decade has been actually an incredible journey. And today I'm here to share some of these experiences and my learnings with you. So when I joined G-Star, I was working on Raw Sustainable Capsule collection, which featured styles in organic cotton, recycled cotton, and new fiber alternatives such as nettle. So this collection was innovative and experimental. A year later, we actually stopped the capsule collection and changed the strategy. So where we implemented all of our learnings from the capsule into the general collection, with focus on the best-selling styles because we wanted to have a bigger impact. So when we started in 2011 with this capsule, our impact in terms of sustainable fiber was 1%. And just by changing the strategy within 1 year, our impact increased to 10%. So this is also the time when we set the ambition to be 100% sustainable on cotton by 2020. Because cotton represented 80% of our collection, and also to be sustainable on 90% of other materials. So fast forward 8 years later, targets have been reached and even surpassed in some areas. So ever since then, the strategy has been introduce all sustainable and circular innovations as a capsule in order to raise the awareness, and then followed by the silent integration into the rest of the collection with a focus on bestsellers. In 2013, we introduced the first circular design where we collected G-Star Raw jeans from Amsterdam warehouses and municipality textile bins. So these were then sorted, shredded into new fibers, spun into the new yarns, and woven into fabric and turned into the new denim products. So since then, the spin-offs of the concept of using waste as a resource, be it pre or post-consumer waste, ranging anywhere from 7 to even 100%, have been implemented beyond denim and across various product categories, such as t-shirts, jackets, shoes, and accessories. So a few years back, we even collected dust from the denim shredding process in order to create the tags and hang tags and the packaging materials. Last year, we have also launched a modular or recycled denim displays for the stores and the showrooms. Following up on experimental fiber alternatives, in 2014, we actually launched Raw for the Oceans collection. So here we worked together with Parlay and Bionic Yarn to reclaim the plastic waste from seashores, which we transformed Cradle into the replacement for the virgin polyester. This is also when we set the goals to eliminate the all virgin polyester by 2020, replacing it with recycled content. So be it from the seashore waste, PET bottles, or airplane trays on any other certified recycled plastic feedstock. Going beyond circular fibers, we also worked on circular dyes. So in 2017, we were the world's first denim brand to launch a denim collection colored with earth colors. So earth colors are dyes made from upcycled plant waste. We did this in collaboration with Archroma, who's a dye producer from Spain, and they collected local agricultural waste to create the pigments. So beautiful thing about these colors is they're actually traceable from dirt to product. So for example, the brown tone you see was made from the beetroot waste from food industry, and the green tone and blue tones you see here on the pictures was made from saw palmetto leaf leftovers of the herbal industry. Since 2017, we expanded this range under the name of Colored by Nature, and there we introduced new colors and constructions across other product groups, such as jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and other products. So in 2018, we were the first brand in the world to bring a collection of garments dyed with Recichrome colors. So Recichrome colors are made from upcycled textile waste. This was done in collaboration with the Officina Plus 39 from Italy, who collected textile waste from the apparel productions in their vicinity. And later on, we ran these dyes in our general collections on basic t-shirts and jeans. In February 2018, we brought to the market world's first cradle-to-cradle gold certified denim fabric as part of our most sustainable jeans to date at the time. So together with our partners, Dystar, an indigo producer from Germany, and Artistic Milliners, which is denim mill out of Pakistan, we formulated a revolutionary indigo technology that was designed to leave a clean and recyclable water effluent. So to create the garments with utmost care for people and the planet, we worked with our longstanding partner and garment maker, Outtakes from Vietnam. So launching this fabric in our iconic styles made a stepping stone towards circular future in denim industry based on the cradle-to-cradle design principles. For those who are not so familiar with cradle-to-cradle philosophy and certification, I will briefly explain. So cradle-to-cradle philosophy is inspired by nature. In nature, there is no concept of waste. Everything effectively becomes food for another organism or a system, and all the materials are reutilized in safe cycles. In order to implement this philosophy into products, Cradle-to-Cradle certification standard, powered by the Cradle-to-Cradle Products Innovation Institute, is used as a framework. So Cradle-to-Cradle certification is the only certification designed for the circular product economy. It is the most rigorous because it requires unparalleled levels of transparency, and because it looks at design from a very, very holistic perspective by taking into account 5 different aspects. So one is material health, another one is the product circularity, the third one is clean air and protection, clean air and climate protection, and fourth one is water and soil stewardship, and the fifth one is social fairness. So a rigor of the certification is further amplified by different levels you can achieve, ranging from bronze, silver, to gold, to platinum. So for example, in order to achieve gold, all 5 categories must have scored a gold. Even if one scored bronze, the entire certification falls to the bronze. So we were actually very proud when we created the world's first cradle-to-cradle certified gold denim fabric that we scored platinum on material health, which meant that there was 0 risk for people and planet in the chemistry of the fabric that we created. This slide, I know it's a bit overwhelming, quite busy, but it sort of summarizes the start and the evolution of cradle-to-cradle journey at G-Star. So I'll walk you through it. So in case you may wonder why we started with certifying denim fabric first, we started with it because it makes up 98–99% of the garment, and this way we could have a bigger impact. So by going through the fabric certification first, we have learned how to optimize our existing fabrics and also how to design our future ones. So ever since the launch of the world's first cradle-to-cradle gold denim fabric, each quarter, as you can see on this busy slide, we have been building onto this innovation. So to date, 12 more fabrics according to safeguard principles and various constructions and shades have hit the market, including the world's first cradle-to-cradle gold stretch denim fabric, as well as black, which was introduced in 20 Q4, and the stretch was in 19 Q4. So the natural next step was to dive deeper beyond the fabric And this is when we started to analyze and optimize and innovate components, other components that make up the garment, according to the cradle-to-cradle principles at the gold level. So these included interlinings, pocketing, prints, labels, buttons, rivets, washing techniques, and garment manufacturing processes. So in order to achieve this, we worked very closely with 13 others of our supply chain partners and also their associates. So this entire process, starting from creation of the world's first cradle-to-cradle gold denim fabric to optimizing all the other components at gold level, is what I call creation of the circular design toolbox, because only by having the right tools can we actually design the products of the future. So once we have built this circular design toolbox, in 20Q1, we brought to the market range of fully certified cradle-to-cradle gold G-Star raw denim products, and in 20Q3, also t-shirts. Actually, we worked with an Indian supplier for the t-shirts, Pratibha Syntex in this case. So in terms of features, what is a cradle-to-cradle certified gold G-Star product? It's a product designed for circularity, which means that it's 100% recyclable. It contains 0 harmful chemicals in all of its components. 0 water was wasted during its make and the wash. And the entire products have been manufactured using 100% renewable energy. So just like for all of our other circular innovations, in order to scale them throughout collection, because we want to have a bigger impact, we apply these learnings to our bestsellers and never out of stock styles. So more variations of fabrics and products are, according to the same principles, are continuously being developed. And after all, we all know that circularity and sustainability are journeys of continuous improvement. So, as most of you can imagine, working in the sphere of sustainability and circularity is a challenging yet very rewarding task, full of learnings. So I wanted to share a few points which I believe you will find relevant in your future development. So advancing education regarding sustainability, circularity, and system thinking with schools, businesses, and amongst other stakeholders is actually vital in creating behavioral shifts. So platforms like these are really great example on, how we can share knowledge and educate each other on how to do things better in the future. Collaboration is not only key to the innovation, but virtually to everything that we do. In my experience, all of the work I have ever done was as a result of close collaboration of interdisciplinary stakeholders. So I encourage you to keep your horizons open and also to connect to the peers and faculty inside and outside of your studies and interests in creation of your solutions. Because in the end, it all seems to bring us down to the SDG number 17, which is about partnership for the goals. So yeah, just connect to others and learn from each other. And collaborate together. I think this is something that it's very important in bringing future solutions. Transparency and traceability, simply put, are intel behind the sustainability and circularity. Without them, it's impossible to track the resources and inputs and the levels of their purity. It's not possible to measure the actual impact. It's not possible to have an overview and to share the correct information. Consequently, it makes it very difficult to provide solutions for the future and to hold anybody accountable. So if transparency and traceability are not integral part of your design or product development, you're actually not future-proofing yourself. Another thing is that one entity using an innovative solution alone cannot change the entire industry. So this is why when we launched the world's first cradle-to-cradle certified denim fabric in 2018, we actually made it open source. This meant that one other brand could use the fabric, And two, other mills could learn about the revolutionary indigo technology that we developed with our partners. So they could adapt the clean indigo solutions in their own productions. So later on, when we certified the entire products, we also created an open access to the rest of our circular design toolbox. So by sharing our findings and solutions, others would now not have to do double work. Instead, they could actually build upon and consequently scale and accelerate circular practices. So in order to really make a difference, positive, innovative solutions at scale are really key. So thinking about the future, I guess one should reflect on the past and question the state of the current affairs. So circularity is here to eliminate the concept of waste. In essence, it's about using waste as a resource. However, today's challenge is that most of the waste we have was never designed to be reused in the first place. So, and we often find ourselves engineering the solutions into the problem. So moving forward, it's vital to design holistically with an intent for the next use by implementing safe materials, clean energy, and processes that respect water, soil, and all life. So this approach is actually an enabler of innovation across the supply chains and products. And furthermore, it fosters transparency, responsible and collaborative human behavior, diversified infrastructure, and new business models, which are all very necessary in driving the systemic change towards circular economy. So yeah, as for tomorrow, it belongs to us, but especially to you. As a citizen, as the future designers, you have actually the choice, joy, and responsibility to envision and engineer the products you want to surround yourself with and the world you want to live in. So think about what is your intention and see what you would like to do. And if you seem to be lost, let the SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals be your compass. Because these goals, in essence, they stand for the human values. So I would like to thank you all for listening and for tuning in. And I guess we could now go to the Q&A, or somebody will take over, Isha.
Thank you so much, Adriana, for offering your expertise with JD family. This was such a wonderful and informative session for all of us.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to hear this.
So we shall now proceed to the questions. All the participants can put up their questions in chat box. One question is, please explain more about virgin polyester.
Virgin polyester. I mean, we should not use it. We have polyester in general needs to be changed from its core. Of course, we have the microplastic pollution problems. Then also in creation of the polyester, we have chemistry that is not good, such as antimony trioxide. So, I mean, we really need to redesign polyester in order to be safe for people and planet. I hope this answers your question.
Totally. So another question is, what were the challenges faced by you in the initial stages of your work?
Oh, there were so many. I mean, whenever you start something that doesn't exist, you will probably hit a lot of walls. But I think as long as you believe in what you're doing, if you educate people along the way why you are doing it, then you kind of getting them on board in a way without pushing anybody. So I think the challenge is first for me, the biggest challenge was always to get people on board on regarding what I was doing, because maybe it was a bit too far-fetched when I started, like when I read the book in 2005, I wanted to create the Cradle to Cradle certified gold denim fabric and the product. So I guess that the biggest challenge, first, also another challenge is, you have to create something that doesn't exist. So that may be a challenge, but it's also a very nice way to have freedom, because if something doesn't exist, there's nothing to compare it to. So yeah, so these are some things, like getting people on board to understand like what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then like the innovation part of things where things don't exist, and of course there you have to get people on board to help you. And because I mean, collaboration, as I mentioned, is key to everything. So I'm just very happy that I had also a lot of people in my surroundings that were on the same page, had a similar vision, and were open to, exploring, experimenting. Yeah.
Okay. We have another question. How to track down the suppliers are actually supplying sustainable raw materials?
You can, I mean, there are many different ways. Of course, there's now technologies that are allowing you to do that, such as, blockchain-based technologies. I don't know if you want to track your fiber, there's Fiber Trace. For us, it was, we had like a long-standing supply chain partnerships for over 10 years. So it's pretty much, we designated what products of components we would use within our products. And also, when you're doing the Cradle to Cradle certification, you have to actually, in the material health part, you have to disclose molecular level of all the chemistry that's being used. So that also is one pathway to, connect to your supply chain, but also other tiers of the supply chain. So I think you have to have a framework within your company. And as a designer, you have to know what's being used. And if they don't have a certain product that they want to use, you have to really check what is this that they're using. But a lot of times, what happens is sometimes, designers are not connected to the chemistry, and maybe they're connected, they choose the fabric, but not everything that goes into the fabric. So that's where like the sourcing department, the CSR department, the supply chain department can step in. So now more than ever, it's so much easier to trace anything, because there's technology that can be implemented, and there's also checks and balances. So yeah. So it's possible. It's not like that it's not possible. You just have to, it's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you're buying, I don't know, milk, you look at the ingredients and things like that. It's kind of same when you design, you kind of look what's your like nutritional value, what kind of things you want to have in your product. I hope that makes sense.
Totally. So there is another question. What were the issues you faced when using upcycled or organic dyes compared to conventionally used dyes?
I mean, sometimes an example of earth colors, perhaps the lot to lot can be a bit different, like the consistency. But at the same time, we have encouraged our customers to embrace the differences, to embrace the imperfections, that not every color is exactly the same. Of course, you can control that, but it takes a long time. And then maybe the color fastness, but also these technologies are quite advanced. So all these things like consistency and color fastness are getting improved all the time. I think the more people do, it's like with anything. When you introduce something new, you have the little glitches, but the more you work with it, you improve it, and it's almost the same like the conventional dye stuff, except better in sense that it's not petrol based and it's using waste as a resource.
Another question is, what are your perspectives on sustainable fashion?
Perspectives. I mean, sustainable fashion is necessary. And sustainability, it should be integral part of every business. We shouldn't be even talking about, there shouldn't be a brand that doesn't have a, sustainability ingrained into their production. So if you're starting your new brand, make sure that you are, first of all, good for people and planet. And then the next step, of course, is a circularity, where we want to create not only neutral impact, but positive impact. So making fashion to be the actually catalyst of positive change, instead of having all this negative impact on people and the planet. So sustainability is just a basis, pure basis. Like there's not, we need to move far more beyond it. And that's where circularity and designing according to the Cradle principle comes in, because it really looks at the whole picture from a holistic perspective, taking care of, people and the planet, the air, the soil, and everything around us.
The way you explain, Adriana, it's so real and so raw. It's like, any other student who wants to do something of their own and just starting, and they just need the correct guidance to it. Thank you once again. It was so helpful to have someone who has had this experience with similar issues on previous projects to have to offer guidance and direction to all of us today. So we really, really appreciate your willingness to help out our students and other members of our JD family.
Great. Thank you for having me. And I would just encourage all of your
Thank you.
and see how you can design better community, not only on the garment level, but also in the surrounding around yourselves. So thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, students, participants, and members, faculties of JD to join this session. See you all next time.
See you. So everything is stopped now, right? Oh, and you're unmuted, Aishi.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't notice
No worries. Okay, so did it go okay? Everything